Hey everyone, it's Kelly O'Neill. I'm just going to give everyone a second as you guys are popping on here for 1 minute before I get started. But I want to thank those of you who are joining me here live, and then also some of you are getting the notifications in my stories and whatnot after. You can always go back and watch the replays if you didn't, if you weren't able to make it here live. So I'm just going to jump in. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kelly O'Neill. I'm a brand marketing and business strategist and a futurist. And what I do is I work with entrepreneurs who are scaling from 7 to 9 figures, and I help them create a category of one business that not only allows them to make the impact in the world that they desire, but also to create the type of business that they desire that works strategically and efficiently and also is high profit so that they can do even more work in the world. So I have 9 companies, and all of my companies, or most of my companies, not all of them, but most of my companies, we work with 2 specific target audiences. We work with visionary, epic, innovative entrepreneurs who really want to leave the world a better place than when they came into it, and they've got some sort of unique solution for that, or they want to be positioned to have a unique solution. Or we work for the service providers that support them and are marketing to these affluent clientele. So we are very, very specialized, very, very niched. We work with a specific group of people, and we offer them very specific services so that they can rapidly accelerate the growth of their business. All right, so with that being said, I let you guys know that all of February I'm going to be coming live and answering your questions. So yesterday I answered a question about my 125-pound weight loss, and I told you guys exactly how I did that. So today I am going to answer a business question. So the number one question that I get asked is, what do you do? I just answered that, so I'm not going to answer that one. But then they say, how did you get into this? I was just at an appointment, at a personal care appointment, and I just got asked this question. I get asked all the time. So basically, the very long story short is, number one, the work that I do is my life purpose. And I am on a mission in this world to fulfill my purpose. So number one, I came into the world with a very specific purpose. By the way, we all did. If you don't know what yours is, there's a way to find out. You can DM me and I'll tell you. But I came into this world and I knew that I wanted to make a difference on the planet. That's what I came here for. So I kind of, knowing that, opened myself up to those opportunities. So when I was 18 years old, my dad had a really good friend that ran a very prestigious brand marketing agency and advertising agency and PR agency in the Silicon Valley. And he offered me an internship because he knew that I was super driven and I was very disciplined. I played sports my entire life. So I had a lot of drive, a lot of discipline. The way that I was raised to have very high standards, and and those standards were expected to be met. So he's like, I want you to come and do an internship at my agency, but I'm going to put you into the PR place. Well, I already knew that I wanted to be in advertising, so I thought. So I was not super thrilled about this idea, but long story short, he convinced me to do a PR internship, and I did the PR internship, fell in love with it. He literally said to me, Kelly, I've known you since you're in diapers. You are a PR person through and through. And he was right. So I started working in my industry of choice before I even graduated from college. So by the time I graduated from college, I had a few years of working in the PR realm with the best of the best humans on the planet. And they were so great to really mentor me and take me under their wing. And I just asked a ton of questions. I took it very seriously. So from there, I went into working in other PR and advertising, or PR agencies, not advertising, PR agencies in the Silicon Valley. and very rapidly scaled in the corporate world. I worked on very large accounts in the PR world. I worked on Epson, I worked on Kingston, I worked on Hitachi Data Systems, OK Semiconductor, lots of tech companies. But I always knew that I wanted to work on something that mattered. And not that those things don't matter, because obviously they do, right? They're important. And also, I wanted something that was going to ultimately change the trajectory of humanity or empower people. So I was recruited by a company called Intuit. You probably know them. They make Quicken and QuickBooks. And I ended up working and launching. I got hired after 9 interviews. I was one of 2 people that didn't have an MBA that worked in that department. And I ended up launching Quicken 98, 99, and 2000. And it was an amazing experience. I learned so much. I got to work, I had a massive budget that I managed, and I got to work with literally the top agencies in the world, like out of New York and LA and Paris. I got to work with all of these phenomenal agencies. And again, I asked a lot of questions. I was always watching, I was always learning, I was always looking for mentorship and trying to understand what they were doing, or if they were doing a strategy and I didn't quite understand, I did not just sit there quietly. I was like, can you explain to me how you came to that? And so I would always be very curious and asking lots of questions. So I was able to then take that information and apply it to what I was doing. So I, again, really excelled. After my time at Intuit, I got recruited away by companies. This was during the dot-com boom. And I got recruited away by different companies that were in the technology space. And I got hired because I had honed my craft in strategic positioning and getting results. Like, that's really where I very much excelled. I understood the positioning and I understood the market and I understood how I got the assignment. Does that make sense? Like, I got the assignment. And so also, I will tell you, I used my intuition a ton and never told a soul. Never told a soul. In fact, actually, this company that I'm talking about, I was able to help them because I always got hired to help them create results. I got hired to either help them go public or to sell. And I ended up making a strategic recommendation based on intuition, and the company got acquired by AOL Time Warner. And I had to justify that intuitive suggestion because the president of the company was like, how do you know that? Why do you think that? And I had to kind of backpedal and make it up, but it worked. So after that, I had basically gotten called into that company. I repositioned the entire offering in the marketplace. I redid the entire communications plan. I helped them flip the company in 7 months. And at that point, I was like, I kind of feel like I need to go out on my own here. Like, I don't really, why am I working for and I had all these offers in the market. So I started my own business, and my very first client was Morpheus. So for those of you who are my age, I'm about to be 52. You might remember back to peer-to-peer. If you actually Google my name, it comes up. I was recruited by a company called Streamcast. They made Morpheus. If you remember, Kazaa, Grokster, there was a major lawsuit. Now, some of you who are younger, you may not even know what I'm talking about. But they were the ones that came out with peer-to-peer technology, which has actually resurfaced in the news recently. And they were being sued by the RIAA and a bunch of other people. And they hired me in to do crisis communication, again, because I knew how to position and I knew how to create movements. And I knew how to create movements with consumers. So I came in, I helped reposition the company. And for 2 years, I worked to reposition the company so that they would win the lawsuit, retain their funding, and ultimately achieve their business goals. And that is exactly what happened. I did things in there that it was a very cool opportunity. Like, I actually lobbied a bill on the Hill. I had no idea what I was doing, by the way, but I figured it out because I had to. And so I helped create a lobby against a bill that actually was called the Berman Bill. You can Google that too. And so I helped them win, ultimately, net, 2 years, repositioned them. User base grew substantially. They got all their funding. They won the lawsuit, and I worked myself out of a job again. So at that point, I kind of hit a pinnacle in my PR world, and I wasn't even, I think I had just turned 30, somewhere around there. I just turned 30. And so I decided that I was done working in technology. Like, I felt like I scaled. I could have had any opportunity that I wanted. I was getting recruited. The media was recommending me to all these people. People were coming after to recruit me, and I decided I wanted to work with entrepreneurs. And that's what I started doing. I started working with entrepreneurs because I knew that if I could teach them how to position themselves in the marketplace, and I could teach them how they could use these tools that we were using in these with multi-million-dollar budgets, but I could teach them how to do that in their own business, that they could then get their word and their voice out into the market, and they could make a difference. And that was very, very exciting for me, because the truth is, when I started my business, I knew what I was doing in marketing and PR. I could get clients. That wasn't a problem. Like, I made a name for myself really quick in the industry. I immediately got in with, the top speakers in the market. I was getting invited to the VIP parties. I was like, behind the velvet ropes. All of that was great because I knew what I was doing. You know what I didn't know how to do? Run a freaking business. I had no idea how to do that. I had no idea how to hire, I mean, I knew how to manage people, but I also had worked exclusively with super high performers my whole life. So not, now working with virtual assistants or I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And so I had to learn how to do all of that. And I've spent the last, couple decades really figuring all that stuff out the really hard way, but using those same philosophies that I did from the get, right? Like, using those same philosophies where I got into the room with people who knew more than me, and I started asking questions. That's how I've always done that's how I am not ashamed to admit that I don't know if something, or if I need help, or I want to know how someone did it. I'm all about leveraging other people's genius. I think it is way smarter, right? Like, I don't need to go figure all this stuff out on my own. That's ridiculous and expensive and long and hard. I'm going to go to someone who's already perfected it and have them tell me how to do it, right? Because you're going to get leaps and bounds ahead. And even if I have to hire them as a consultant or a mentor or whatever, like, I'm going to return on investment on that all day long. So that's what I've always done in my career. So now, fast forward, I've had my own business since 2001. It's 2025 as I'm shooting this, and for those of you who are watching the replay, and I have built an entire empire of organizations that help entrepreneurs not, like, basically grow their businesses, right? From finding out how they can create their business strategy so they have a couture business strategy tailored to their life mission and purpose, and also creating all of their offerings and making sure everything is positioned correctly so that they can grow, to helping them then create that strategic efficiency in their foundation, to then helping them create that brand where they are communicating to their ideal clients, and really making sure everyone knows why they are different and why they are the only business of the kind that can serve what they do, and then amplifying that voice and then automating all of their marketing automation so that their businesses grow without them, right? Without them having to be involved in the day-to-day. So that is how I got into it. That is what I'm doing now. If you guys have any questions about that, let me know. You can actually go to my website. If you go to kellyoneal.com, you can click on the CEO, and it literally has a whole timeline of of my trajectory and my career path in there. I thought that was a really cool idea that one of my team members had, and so we put that in there so you can see. So a little bit more about me. Very long track record of working, again, with really cool companies, doing really cool things. I learned a lot, and now I utilize that to help you guys. So thanks so much for listening. I'd love to know what your thoughts are, what your comments are, what questions you have. You can either DM me or, like I said, drop in the comments. And also make sure that you run over to connectwithkelly.com and, get into our ecosystem, get into my VIP list. By the way, I don't blast people with emails. I don't even like email, but whatever. So jump on there, get into my Epic AF CEO Facebook group, connect with me on the social channels. I'm so excited. I love chatting with you guys, and I love to know what other genius everyone is up to in the world. And my company and I are here to serve you and to connect you with the right people. So let us know how we can help. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next live. I'll answer a personal question